Hello and welcome to Keeping It Real. Thanks for joining us today. I'm David Grossman. We've got a great show for you today. With me here at the table,
hey Dave,
my friend Howard Oliver. Thanks very much for joining us today, Howard. Howard is with What If, What Next. He is a marketing and PR guru. He can help you to navigate the web. What a complex area today, nowadays. So much competition online. Howard can help us do that. We're going to talk to him about his company, some methods that he uses that can help you. And we also have in the studio with us today, we have Michael Hyam, and we also have Megan Chomin from businessexchange.ca. I'm sure you've seen their magazines. This is the real estate exchange. And they're here. They're going to talk to us about franchising, buying a franchise, and also there's a conference coming up, or a show coming up very soon, later this month, September 29th and 30th. And if you were lucky enough to receive my email earlier, you can click on the link to get some free tickets to that show. If you miss it, you can always send me an email. We'll send you the link again. Anyway, let's start off with Howard.
Indeed.
Howard, thanks very much for coming to the studio. Appreciate it very much. You have some interesting names for some of the offerings that you do. First of all, let's talk about Webvoyaging. That sounds nice. Voyage is always a good thing.
well, it comes from, I guess, my sailing background. I've been a sailor for 30 years, and it struck me that the web is a great ocean, and the trick is connecting with people who will advocate for your business, who will bring you customers, and also would be customers themselves. So there's a point of a voyage being a destination rather than a random activity of going from this site to that site. So we want it to be focused, outcome oriented, and measurable. So that's why I came up with this idea of web voyaging.
So how do you navigate the web today?
Well, it starts with great content. There's
Okay.
many kinds of social media sites. Many people in the real estate sector are using them. It's not exactly a super new thing.
Mm-hmm.
The core of it really, after some thinking about it, and actually some recent research that we did for your sector, is that really great content is the ship you want to put up on the ocean, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Articles that you write about your own location with your own personality that are written extremely, extremely well, that get posted on your website, is really the core of it. It's
Okay.
really the vessel. From that point, and it's really important to understand that if you want to stick out in the marketplace, then amazing journalistically written articles are really the key. Not necessarily even something that you've bought that other people have access to,
Okay.
but things very specific to you. The New York Times and other major newspapers spend a lot of time writing very well. It's a craft in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to do. It's not something, even if you have an extensive education. It's about writing journalistically.
And if I'm not mistaken, when you're writing for the web, it's not only about writing a good story or something, but you also have to keep in mind how to be, that it has to have certain keywords, and what's the word? There's a buzzword for it. Rich text or something?
Rich text, it's social media optimization,
Right.
search engine optimization.
It's got to have the right terms in it and in the right place.
Right, but not overdone. So
Right.
your title should be poignant, should capture, especially, I want to get in a point here before it slips by, what's going on in your area. So what's exciting in the area that you're servicing? So you
Okay.
start out with a compelling title, for example, that has the name of Richmond Hill or Vaughan or Woodbridge or whatever.
Okay.
And then in the first paragraph, without ever overdoing it, because Google penalizes you, to say who you are, what you're saying, why what you're saying is really important, and to talk to some kind of interesting information that will get someone who might be in the real estate market very excited about what you have to do.
Okay, so it should be relevant, it should be current, but some people might be watching and thinking, well, I mean, they're not journalists, so how do they get this kind of copy?
Well, to be blunt, that's what we do for a living.
Okay.
We have a broad team of experts that
So
can
you
write.
help people
Yeah.
write the content?
Yeah. And even actually, if they come in with a series of notes and ideas, bullet points, we can polish it up to New York Times level. We have that capability.
Okay.
One of the things that we would say is to come in with sort of a topic that has PR buzz.
Right.
So I know that right now that bidding wars are a very big issue in our area.
Right.
They seem almost to be managed. So a good article on that, how to avoid, how to manage, how to make sure that you aren't abused by the system would be one idea for an article that I think would get some buzz.
Right, very relevant, very current.
Yeah, punchy, and also would get you in the media. So it's just not writing on or putting it on your website and referencing it on Twitter and putting on Facebook and several other sites, but you can also go to the local media who are very interested in topical news, especially if it's hot, if it's important. They'll publish it for you, and that's sort of another thing we do. We know how to place ads in the local media, and that really could help you.
Okay, tell us what are backlinks and how is that important? I mean, we're talking about right now content that you could have on your website, and if the media agrees to pick it up, then you've got content elsewhere. But what are backlinks? I hear that this is very important.
It is.
Nowadays.
It is a hot area.
How do you manage that for your clients?
Just imagine a spider web. Really, if you had at the core of it your article on your website with some kind of a name collector, then backlinks would be taking a reference to that article. We'll keep with what we're talking about, say on the idea of bidding wars,
right,
and putting it on different sites on the internet to create a flow of traffic back to your website.
Right.
Backlinks can be a press release. There are some free press release sites in Canada that actually work. They're very good. They always get top page Google rankings quite easily. And that would be a great example of a backlink.
Right.
Another example would be an article on an online magazine or portal where you would take a bit of your article and get it back to your website. Another would be listing on directories, which we have an extensive list. We have people, that's all they do, and we've been doing it for years, who will put a link to your high interest URL that has the name of your article that would go back. Also leaving comments, not pestering things on other people writing about your topic, but comments that are relevant that have also a link that will go back to your website. There are some rules about it. There are some people who don't allow backlinks, but the main important thing, and I want to stress, is that if you have really good, well-written content, then the backlinking and the SEO, and it has to be done, but it'll be extremely effective rather than just moderately effective or totally ignored. It's really the content that's the key.
Okay, and now what about, how does social media play into all this? I've heard that Google is giving more and more weight to your social media presence. Do you have to have a Twitter account and the Facebook account, and will you manage that for people?
Yes, we do that. Most people know about Twitter if they're using it for their own social life, or if their kids are using it for their own social life. It's a tool to reach out to broad communities, to link out to other organizations. For example, we have a client that's a movie theater right now, Humber Cinemas. I can mention it online. Really beautiful theater that has great movies, great sound. There's sort of an Art Deco place. They're in the Bloor West Village, right near High Park. So we've been managing their Facebook page. We put pictures of their cinemas, and also because Bloor West Park has High Park in the area, we went and called actually a conservatory, a nature educational facility in High Park, and said, well, we're going to post something about you.
Right.
And they came back and they posted and they liked our page, and there's an ongoing discussion, and we're going to do that with a whole bunch of other community groups to help promote that cinema. And the same thing would work in real estate, of course. So you can use Facebook to build a community to summit.
Talk to us about, please, about agile marketing. It's another one of your terms. What does that mean?
Well, Agile really comes from the software development world. A part of what I do is sort of very techy in the cloud computing space. The non-agile way of developing software or even doing a marketing plan, let's stick to marketing, is to write a big plan. If you ever took a marketing course in school, I did that in MBA school, that's what you would have done, a 6-month marketing plan. And you would present it to your boss and have a series of steps of campaigns and a budget that would last for 6 months or maybe even a year. That's too slow now.
Right.
Really, you need results in 20 days. So what they did in the software world that is mapped onto marketing is that what's a 20-day sprint? The language is really exciting and got me sort of motivated. What can I do in 20 days? That's not going to be overwhelming. I know I've worked with real estate agents in the past, and they complain, well, you know, I could spend all my day on my Facebook, my Twitter.
Sure.
So what, and most importantly, I have to meet people.
That's right, and sell houses.
And sell houses.
Right.
So what do you really have over the 20-day period? How many hours do you really have, or what resources can you have? How can you mount a campaign that would get you noticed? And ultimately, the measure of any kind of a social media campaign or marketing campaign is getting you hits to your website that translates into referrals and deals. That's the real measurable.
Right.
So 20 days. Review it every couple of days to make sure you're on track. I would say, getting back to the original idea, is start with some amazing content. Something, you know, it's like a great pasta dish at a wonderful restaurant. That you talk about. A lousy pasta dish, you will never talk about the restaurant.
Right.
But if you start with something good, then you'll get results at the end of 20 days, monitoring it every 2 days. That's agile.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, even if you can do something and then within 20 days have some idea of whether you're going in the right direction or not, I think that's something significant.
Right, absolutely, because it's all about measurability.
Right.
That's the hot thing right now. People do not want to invest in marketing just for the sake of saying I'm marketing. What's the measure? What's the result? And if you go 6 months, there's really no way to measure it, really. It's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, that is too long of a window, and things are changing all the time. I mean,
Right.
the way Google handles things and what's hot one day and what's hot the next day is something totally different. So, Howard, I want to thank you very much for coming in and giving us this update. You just heard from Howard Oliver, marketing and PR consultant from What Next. You can find him at whatifwhatnext.com. I highly recommend his services. Thanks again. Stick with us. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back with Michael Hyam and Megan Chomin to talk about the Business Exchange and the Real Estate Exchange and this Business Franchise and Investment Expo that's coming up later this month on September 29th and 30th. Hang in there. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thanks for watching.